Have you ever reached a point in life where everything feels heavy, even the things that used to bring you joy? Perhaps your career no longer excites you, your relationships feel strained, or even your own daily routines feel like a treadmill with no exit. This unease is not a coincidence. It is a quiet signal from God that something within you is urging for change. The world may call it dissatisfaction, restlessness, or even failure, but in reality, it is a whisper, a call to explore a new path that aligns more deeply with your soul. Sometimes the signs are subtle. You may find yourself questioning decisions you once thought were permanent or feeling invisible in places where recognition used to come easily. There may be moments when you wake up with a vague sense of urgency, a feeling that something more meaningful awaits, yet you cannot put your finger on it. These moments are God's gentle way of alerting you that the path you are on may no longer serve your highest good. It is not a punishment, but a divine nudge toward growth and transformation. The crossroads often arrive quietly, almost imperceptibly. You may notice an accumulation of minor frustrations, projects that fail repeatedly, relationships that bring more tension than joy, or a lingering sense of emptiness that cannot be filled by external success. These experiences are not coincidences. They are markers pointing to a deeper truth. Your life is ready for evolution. God knows the potential you carry, and when your current path no longer supports that potential, God calls you to consider an alternative route. Often we resist these signals because change is uncomfortable. Familiarity, even when flawed, provides a false sense of security. We convince ourselves that we are content, or that our dreams can wait, or that we simply must endure. But beneath the surface, your soul recognizes the stagnation, and that recognition is persistent. God's whisper cannot be silenced by distraction or denial. It grows louder through subtle hints, repeated challenges, and an internal unrest that cannot be ignored. The crossroads is also a place of reflection. It asks you to pause and examine the journey that has led you here. What have you learned? What have you outgrown? Which aspects of yourself have been stifled by fear, expectation, or obligation? Recognizing the crossroads is not about judgment or blame. It is about honest observation. It is about acknowledging that your current path, no matter how familiar or safe it seems, is not fully aligned with the life you are meant to live. In this moment, God is asking for clarity and courage. To recognize the crossroads is to accept that change is inevitable if you desire growth. It is to understand that the discomfort you feel is a necessary signal, a divine invitation to leave behind what no longer resonates and step into a path that nurtures your purpose. Listening to this call requires honesty and vulnerability. It requires the courage to admit that the life you have been living may not be the life you are meant to lead. At times, the crossroads may feel lonely. The familiar voices of others may insist that you stay the course, that you settle for what is easy, or that your ambitions are unrealistic. Yet, the quiet inner pull persists, reminding you that God knows your heart and your potential better than anyone else. It is at this intersection, between comfort and courage, between the known and the unknown, that the possibility of transformation emerges. God's guidance often becomes clearest in these moments of stillness and reflection. Recognizing the crossroads also demands patience. Change is rarely instantaneous. It requires preparation, planning, and inner alignment. Rushing into a new path without readiness can create confusion, frustration, and setbacks. But acknowledging the need for a new direction is the essential first step. It is the conscious decision to listen to God's whisper, to pause, and to examine your life with clarity and honesty. Only by seeing the crossroads can you choose the path that aligns with your true self. This moment of awareness is not a sign of weakness. It is a sign of awakening. It is a sacred invitation to break free from patterns that no longer serve you and to embrace the potential that lies ahead. God does not place obstacles without offering guidance. Every uncertainty, every challenge, every moment of doubt is a teacher preparing you for the path that aligns with your highest purpose. Recognizing the crossroads is the beginning of transformation. Finally, the crossroads is a threshold. Beyond it lies the new path, waiting patiently for you to step forward. It is filled with opportunities for growth, fulfillment, and authentic expression. God knows the life you are capable of living, and the signs, feelings, and subtle nudges you experience are a reflection of divine insight. By paying attention, by listening, and by stepping forward with courage, you honor your journey, your potential, and the guidance that has been quietly leading you all along. Chapter 1: The Subtle Signs You've Outgrown Your Path. Have you ever noticed that life sometimes feels heavier than it should, even when everything seems fine on the surface? There are moments when success, routine, or comfort no longer feels fulfilling. You might wake up each day going through motions without genuine enthusiasm, sensing a quiet dissonance within yourself. This feeling is subtle, but it is significant. It is God's way of signaling that your current path no longer serves your growth. The world may see stability or contentment, but your spirit knows that something is missing. Often the signs come as dissatisfaction in small ways. Tasks that once excited you feel tedious. Conversations that once sparked joy feel empty. Even your hobbies, relationships, or achievements may no longer carry the same weight of meaning. These subtle changes are not coincidences. God often uses discomfort as a messenger, whispering through life's small cracks, inviting you to examine what no longer fits and what truly matters. Another sign is repeated frustration and stagnation. You may feel like you are working hard, yet progress seems limited. You try to move forward, but something invisible holds you back. These repeated patterns are not a failure of effort. They are indications that the path you are walking is not aligned with your purpose. Finally, living fully on your new path means embracing the journey as a continual unfolding of purpose, growth, and self-discovery. Each day brings choices, each moment presents lessons, and each step is a manifestation of your courage and faith. Celebrate the journey itself, not just the milestones. Walk with awareness, trust, and an open heart. God knows you need this path, and as you walk it with determination, patience, and authenticity, you will experience fulfillment, joy, and a sense of alignment that surpasses anything you have known before. The new path is yours to claim, and every conscious step honors the life you are meant to live. You are standing at the edge of a new beginning, and the air around you carries both the weight of uncertainty and the thrill of possibility. It is natural to feel hesitation, to glance back at the familiar terrain you once called life. But remember, the past was necessary. It shaped your strength, sharpened your vision, and revealed the limits of what no longer serves you. God knows this, and God is calling you forward into a life that resonates with your deepest truths and highest potential. The first step is often the hardest, yet it is also the most transformative, for it signals your commitment to yourself and your future. There is power in clarity, the kind that comes when you quiet the noise of doubt and external expectation. When you pause to breathe deeply, to listen, and to align your heart with your purpose, the path ahead becomes more visible. You may not see every detail, and that is perfectly fine. God does not demand that you understand everything at once. The journey is a process, and clarity often comes in fragments, tiny sparks of insight that guide you when you are open to noticing them. Trust that these sparks are enough to light the next step. Every challenge you face on this new path is a teacher, a messenger of growth. Do not fear obstacles, for they are not punishments but opportunities for strength and wisdom. When resistance arises, remember that it is a sign you are pushing beyond comfort and into transformation. Each moment of struggle is a chance to prove your resilience, to cultivate patience, and to discover capabilities you may not have known existed. God has placed these challenges deliberately, knowing they will forge the best version of you. You must embrace patience with yourself. Change is rarely instantaneous, and the new path is not a finish line but a journey of continuous evolution. Celebrate the small victories, the subtle shifts in perspective, the moments when you feel lighter, freer, and more aligned. Each small step compounds into meaningful progress, and every day you move with intention is a day that shapes the life you desire. God sees your efforts even when they seem insignificant, and honors every act of courage you commit to your growth. Forgiveness is a companion on this path. Forgive yourself for past mistakes, missed opportunities, and moments of doubt. Forgive those who may have misled or hurt you, for holding on to resentment only weighs you down. Forgiveness does not excuse what happened. It frees your heart to move forward unburdened. God understands your pain, and God's guidance is strongest when your heart is free, open, and receptive to the possibilities that await. Your new path calls for authenticity, living in alignment with your inner truth, not the expectations or definitions of others. This requires honesty, courage, and self-awareness. Notice when you are compromising who you are, and gently steer back toward the choices and actions that honor your essence. Every authentic step you take strengthens the connection between your life and the divine guidance that has been patiently waiting for you to embrace it. Embrace the unknown with confidence. The path forward may twist and turn, presenting moments of uncertainty, doubt, or fear. Yet within that uncertainty lies the space for growth, creativity, and discovery. Do not let fear dictate your pace or direction. God knows that you are capable of navigating the unknown, and the more you trust yourself and your guidance, the more the path will unfold with clarity and opportunity. Connection with others is vital as you walk this path. Surround yourself with those who uplift, encourage, and inspire you. Seek mentors, friends, and companions who align with your journey and understand your vision. God often sends allies in subtle forms, through words of advice, gestures of kindness, or shared experiences. Be open to receiving support, guidance, and collaboration, for you were never meant to walk this journey alone. Gratitude transforms every step of the journey. As you progress, take moments to appreciate the lessons, the growth, and the blessings that appear along the way. Gratitude amplifies your awareness, fuels resilience, and strengthens your connection to God's guidance. Recognize the beauty of the path itself, not just the destination, and allow appreciation to fill your heart. Each moment of gratitude brings you closer to peace, fulfillment, and alignment with your purpose. Finally, remember that your journey is sacred, personal, and uniquely yours. God knows your heart, your struggles, and your dreams. The new path you are stepping into is not a random choice. It is the path that aligns with your soul, with your potential, and with the life you were meant to lead. Walk with courage, embrace growth, and remain steadfast in your commitment to yourself. The journey will not always be easy, but it will always be worth it. Each step forward is a testament to your resilience, your faith, and your willingness to embrace the life that God has always envisioned for you. God recognizes your persistence, but also knows that staying in the same place will never allow your true potential to flourish. Sometimes, the realization comes through dreams, both literal and metaphorical. You may notice that the dreams you once had no longer resonate, or that new visions of your life begin to surface. God plants seeds of possibility even when the current soil seems insufficient. These visions are clues, guiding you toward a path that is truer to your evolving self. Ignoring them is easy, but listening can open the door to transformation. A sense of restlessness often accompanies this inner call. You may feel an unexplained urge to leave, to explore, or to create something different. This restlessness is not dissatisfaction with life itself, but dissatisfaction with remaining in the same place when your soul is calling for growth. God's guidance often appears in this quiet pull, prompting you to reevaluate where you are and where you truly need to go. Emotional exhaustion is another subtle sign. When the routines, people, or environments you are immersed in drain you rather than energize you, it is a signal. God knows the limits of your endurance and the areas where your spirit requires renewal. These feelings are not weaknesses. They are gentle nudges, encouraging you to pay attention to what nourishes your heart rather than what depletes it. Sometimes the signs appear in the form of misalignment with others. Perhaps you feel disconnected from friends, colleagues, or even family not because of conflict, but because your growth has begun to diverge from theirs. God often moves you along a new path when your energy no longer resonates with the surroundings you have known. Feeling out of place is not punishment. it is guidance toward the space where you belong. Intuition becomes sharper when you've outgrown your path. You start sensing opportunities or dangers before they are fully visible. This heightened awareness is a sign that God is preparing you to navigate a new journey with greater wisdom. Paying attention to these intuitive messages can prevent unnecessary detours and accelerate your movement toward the life meant for you. There is also the subtle call of curiosity, a yearning to learn, to expand, to venture into unfamiliar territory. Curiosity is the language of growth. God plants questions and sparks of wonder in your mind as invitations to explore beyond the boundaries of your current experience. Ignoring this curiosity keeps you confined, but embracing it opens new doors and awakens your potential. Finally, there is the quiet, persistent feeling that life could be more, that you are capable of greater fulfillment than your current circumstances allow. This is the culmination of all the subtle signs, the soft but insistent voice that calls you toward change. God knows the depth of your capabilities, and the path you have outgrown is merely a stepping stone toward the life your spirit is meant to inhabit. To ignore it is to ignore your own growth. To follow it is to honor your journey and step into your destiny. Chapter 2. Letting go of what no longer serves you. Letting go is one of the most challenging yet liberating acts you can perform for yourself. It requires the courage to face the truth about what no longer contributes to your growth, happiness, or peace. Often we cling to people, places, habits, or beliefs simply because they are familiar. Yet, familiarity is not always comfort. Sometimes it is a cage that keeps you from stepping into your potential. Recognizing what no longer serves you is the first step toward freedom. God knows the weight you carry, and letting go is a sacred act of self-respect. It is easy to confuse loyalty with stagnation. You may feel guilty for releasing relationships, quitting a job, or abandoning a routine that no longer aligns with your vision. But holding on for the sake of appearances, habit, or fear of change only prolongs your struggle. True courage is measured not by endurance in a painful situation, but by the wisdom to know when it is time to move on. Letting go is not betrayal, it is evolution. God sees the necessity of shedding what hinders you, and in that act you make space for what will uplift you. Often we hold on to outdated dreams, unaware that they no longer reflect who we have become. Perhaps a career path that once inspired you now feels suffocating. Perhaps a friendship that once brought joy now drains energy. God understands your inner dissonance, and letting go is a way to honor your present truth. Releasing these outdated dreams allows new aspirations to take root, dreams that resonate with your current purpose, not your past expectations. Letting go is rarely immediate. It is a process, a series of small decisions repeated daily. Some mornings, the thought of change may terrify you, while other days, it may feel like the most natural thing in the world. God is patient with your hesitations. Even the smallest step away from what no longer serves you is a declaration of self-respect. Each choice, each conscious act of release, builds momentum toward a lighter, freer, more aligned life. Your mind and body will resist at first. Letting go triggers fear, uncertainty, and grief. It is natural to mourn what you leave behind, even if it no longer benefits you. God does not ask for the absence of emotion. God asks for honesty. Feel the loss, honor the emotions, and then allow them to move through you. By facing the discomfort rather than avoiding it, you create space for renewal and strength that could not emerge otherwise. Boundaries are an essential part of letting go. Some people and situations require a clean, firm break. Others may need gentle distancing. God knows your limits and your capacity for patience. Setting boundaries is not selfish. It is a necessary act of self-preservation. By protecting your energy, you honor your journey and signal to the world and to yourself that your growth is non-negotiable. Letting go also means releasing mental patterns that no longer serve you. Negative self-talk, limiting beliefs, and old fears act as invisible weights, slowing your progress. God's guidance is strongest when your mind is clear, uncluttered, and receptive. Challenge these mental patterns. Replace self-doubt with self-compassion, fear with curiosity, and regret with learning. Your inner dialogue shapes your reality, and letting go begins from within. Forgiveness plays a crucial role in release. Holding on to anger, resentment, or past betrayals binds you to the past. Letting go does not mean condoning wrongdoing. It means reclaiming your peace. God understands the burden of unresolved emotions and offers you the chance to set them down. By forgiving others, circumstances, or even yourself, you untangle the chains that prevent you from moving forward. Letting go is also about embracing uncertainty. Moving away from what no longer serves you means stepping into unknown terrain. You may not know what comes next, and that is exactly where growth resides. God's presence is in the moments you feel vulnerable, unsure, or afraid. Trust that the path you are creating leads to alignment, even when it is not yet visible. Surrendering control does not weaken you. It strengthens your faith in your own resilience and in the guidance that supports you. Finally, letting go is an act of liberation, a declaration that you are ready to live fully. When you release what is heavy, you make room for joy, purpose, and authenticity. You invite opportunities that were previously obscured by your attachments. God knows the potential that lies within you, and letting go is the gateway to that potential. The act of release, though difficult, is transformative. It signals that you are ready to walk a new path, unburdened, empowered, and open to the possibilities that await. Chapter 3: Discovering Your True Self. Before you can step into a new path, you must first know yourself. Many of us move through life wearing masks. Masks shaped by expectations, obligations, or the desire to be accepted. These masks can feel comfortable at first, but over time they weigh you down. Discovering your true self begins with the courage to remove them. Sit quietly, even for a few minutes each day, and ask yourself, who am I beneath the roles, the responsibilities, the habits, and the fears? The answers may surprise you, but God knows them already, and it is in these discoveries that the first sparks of clarity begin to ignite. Your true self is revealed in the patterns of your heart. Notice what brings you joy without a reason, what challenges stir your mind, and what dreams make you feel alive. These are not random impulses, they are signposts pointing toward the life you were meant to live. God placed them there, hidden beneath the clutter of routine and expectation, waiting for you to pay attention. Listening to these signs requires stillness, honesty, and the willingness to confront the parts of yourself you may have ignored for too long. It is important to acknowledge that discovering yourself is not a linear journey. You may stumble, question, or feel uncertain about the person you uncover. This is normal and it is necessary. Each contradiction, flaw, and hidden strength is a piece of the puzzle that forms your unique identity. God does not expect perfection. God desires authenticity. By embracing your complexity, you free yourself from the pressure to fit into molds that were never meant for you. Past experiences often cloud our perception of who we are. Failures, regrets, and mistakes can leave scars that distort our sense of self. Yet, these experiences are not limitations, they are lessons. Reflect on them without judgment. Ask yourself what they have taught you about your values, your resilience, and your true desires. When you reinterpret your past through the lens of growth rather than shame, you begin to reclaim pieces of your authentic self that have been buried by fear or doubt. Your passions are a compass toward your true self. Pay attention to the activities, interests, and pursuits that make time disappear. These moments are not trivial, they are windows into your soul. God has placed them there as a guide, a signal that these inclinations are integral to your purpose. Pursue them with curiosity and dedication. Even small steps toward your passions are affirmations that you are moving closer to living as your authentic self. Listening to your inner voice is essential. In the noise of the world, the opinions, expectations, and judgments of others can drown out your own wisdom. Yet your inner voice, your intuition, is a gift. It knows the paths that will nourish you and the directions that will drain you. God speaks through this voice, through quiet nudges and subtle urgings. Learn to trust it even when it conflicts with what others believe is best for you. Understanding your values is another crucial part of discovering your true self. What principles are non-negotiable for you? What kind of life do you want to honor through your actions and choices? Values are the foundation upon which your authentic self stands. When your daily decisions align with your deepest beliefs, you experience a sense of coherence and peace that no external approval can provide. God knows your values. Listening to them brings you into harmony with your divine guidance. Self-discovery also involves recognizing your limits and boundaries. Many of us have been conditioned to overextend, to please, or to endure situations that diminish our spirit. True self-awareness requires courage to say no, to set boundaries, and to prioritize your well-being. It is not selfish, it is necessary. God supports the act of protecting your energy, your heart, and your mind, because these are the vessels through which your authentic self will flourish. Connecting with your emotions is another layer of this journey. Feelings are not weaknesses, they are messages. Fear, joy, sadness, excitement, and curiosity all provide clues about your true self. Instead of suppressing emotions or labeling them as right or wrong, observe them. Reflect on what they reveal about your desires, your fears, and your motivations. God has given you emotions as a compass, guiding you toward choices and environments that nurture your growth. Finally, remember that discovering your true self is not a one-time event. It is a lifelong process. You will evolve, grow, and change as you walk your path. Each experience, relationship, and challenge will reveal new dimensions of who you are. Be patient, be kind to yourself, and remain open. God has already planted the seeds of your true identity within you. By listening, observing, and acting with intention, you allow those seeds to grow, blossom, and lead you toward the life you were always meant to live. Chapter 4. Trusting the Invisible Guide. Trusting the invisible guide begins with the understanding that not every step of life can be seen in advance. Often, the most significant changes come cloaked in uncertainty, demanding that you move forward without clarity of the entire journey. It is natural to desire certainty, to want the road mapped and predictable. Yet, true growth comes when you embrace the unseen, when you take a step knowing that the next step may not yet reveal itself. God is the silent presence guiding those who are willing to move forward with courage, even in the dark. There are moments in life when doubt can feel overwhelming. You may question every decision, wondering if you have chosen wrongly or if the timing is off. This is when trust becomes not just a concept but a practice. Trusting the invisible guide is an active choice, an ongoing commitment to continue, even when fear whispers that stopping would be safer. God knows your heart, and in every moment of uncertainty, your perseverance itself becomes proof of faith in the path ahead. The invisible guide does not work in grand, obvious gestures alone. Sometimes guidance comes through subtle shifts, through quiet nudges that make you pause and reflect. A sudden insight, a fleeting idea, a meeting with someone who sparks clarity, these are the small ways God points you forward. The key is attention. You must train yourself to notice, to recognize these signals as the guidance they are meant to be, rather than dismissing them as coincidence or luck. Trust is not passive. It is not simply waiting for things to happen. It is a dynamic engagement with life, a decision to act despite incomplete understanding. When you trust the invisible guide, you commit to walking forward with both awareness and openness. You make choices aligned with your vision and values, knowing that each step, even the missteps, contributes to the unfolding of your journey. God's presence is woven into each action, visible or unseen, shaping the path even when you cannot yet perceive it. Fear often surfaces because the unknown is uncomfortable. Human minds crave certainty, and yet life does not always provide it. The invisible guide teaches you that comfort is not the goal, alignment is. When you prioritize alignment with God's guidance, fear diminishes in its power. It becomes a companion rather than a master, a signal that you are stepping beyond familiar boundaries into growth and transformation. The discomfort is proof that you are moving toward what you are meant to experience. Patience is an essential aspect of trust. The invisible guide operates on a timeline often different from your own. You may feel urgency, pressure, or frustration when change does not occur as quickly as you wish. Yet God's timing is deliberate. Waiting does not mean stagnation, it means preparation. Every moment spent in stillness, reflection, and readiness strengthens your capacity to walk confidently when the path fully reveals itself. Patience allows trust to deepen, embedding it not as a fragile hope, but as a resilient way of life. Sometimes trust requires surrender, not giving up but releasing control over outcomes. You may plan, strategize, and act, yet the final results may differ from your expectations. Trusting the invisible guide is acknowledging that your understanding is limited, while the guidance you receive is complete. God sees patterns, connections, and opportunities that you cannot yet perceive. Surrender does not mean inaction. It means acting with awareness that the results belong to something greater than your personal vision. Faith in the unseen can also strengthen intuition. As you practice listening to the subtle whispers of guidance, your inner compass becomes sharper. You begin to notice patterns, to feel direction in moments of uncertainty, and to respond with clarity even without external validation. God's guidance, when trusted consistently, fosters discernment, enabling you to differentiate between fear, wishful thinking, and true insight. This intuitive connection becomes a lifeline on your new path, anchoring you in moments when the road feels invisible. Trust is reinforced through experience. Every time you follow the guidance of the unseen and witness the unfolding of circumstances aligning in your favor, your confidence grows. These experiences accumulate, building a record of faith that strengthens your resilience. Even in moments of failure, reflection reveals that the invisible guide was present, nudging, protecting, and redirecting. The key is to maintain awareness, to remember lessons learned, and to honor the guidance that shaped your journey, both in triumph and in struggle. Ultimately, trusting the invisible guide is an act of empowerment. It is a choice to move forward with courage, clarity, and openness, knowing that every step is meaningful. God's presence is constant, even when imperceptible, guiding you toward your potential and purpose. When you trust, you no longer walk in fear or hesitation. You walk with confidence, grounded in the knowledge that each step, though unseen, is directed with wisdom and love. Your new path begins the moment you choose to trust, and every forward step affirms your courage and commitment to growth. Chapter 5. Facing Fear Without Retreat. Fear is not your enemy. It is a signal, a messenger that shows up when you are about to step into growth, when you are on the edge of transformation. Many people mistake fear for weakness, but the truth is that fear is proof of your readiness. It reveals that your heart is alive, aware, and reaching for something beyond the ordinary. When fear rises, it is God's way of showing you that you are standing at the threshold of a new possibility, one that requires courage to embrace. To face fear without retreat, you must first recognize it without judgment. Avoid labeling it as bad or wrong. Fear is simply a reaction to uncertainty and the unknown, and it is a natural part of every human experience. By acknowledging fear, naming it, and understanding its origin, you take away its power to control your decisions. God wants you to meet your fear with clarity, not with denial, because clarity transforms fear into awareness, and awareness creates space for deliberate action. Courage does not mean the absence of fear, it means choosing to move forward despite it. The mind will often conjure stories of failure, rejection, or loss to keep you safe in familiar patterns. But living in safety is not living fully. God encourages you to see fear as a teacher. Every tremor of doubt, every knot of anxiety, is a lesson in resilience. By leaning into fear instead of turning away, you train your mind and heart to respond with strength, not retreat. Fear thrives in isolation and secrecy. Sharing your fears with trusted allies or even expressing them in writing can diminish their intensity. Speaking aloud the doubts and anxieties that reside within you allows them to be examined under the light of reason. God does not ask you to carry your fear alone. Whether you talk to someone, journal your thoughts, or reflect silently in prayer or meditation, acknowledging fear externally breaks its invisible chains and reduces its ability to paralyze you. Preparation is a powerful antidote to fear. When you take deliberate steps toward understanding the challenges ahead, fear loses its grip. Plan, research, and equip yourself mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. God equips those who are willing to prepare for their journey. Every skill you acquire, every scenario you anticipate, and every small victory you claim builds confidence. Confidence, not bravado, is what allows you to walk through fear without faltering. Fear can also be an invitation to focus on the present moment. Often, the mind projects worst-case scenarios far into the future, creating a shadow of anxiety that feels larger than life. God reminds you that you only exist fully in the now. By anchoring your attention to the present task, the present step, you reduce the power of imagined threats. Mindfulness transforms fear into a manageable force, allowing you to respond intelligently rather than react impulsively. Embracing fear without retreat requires trust. Trust in yourself and trust in God's guidance. You must believe that each step, even if uncertain, brings you closer to the life meant for you. When fear challenges you, see it as an opportunity to exercise faith in your capabilities and the divine support surrounding you. Trust is not passive. It is active engagement with life despite the unknown, a conscious choice to continue moving forward when hesitation tempts you to stop. It is important to distinguish between rational fear and irrational fear. Rational fear alerts you to real danger and demands caution and strategy. Irrational fear exaggerates risk, often creating barriers where none exist. God's wisdom helps you discern the difference. By evaluating your fears critically, you can take calculated action without being overwhelmed by imagination or past experiences. This discernment turns fear into an instrument for clarity and intelligent decision-making. Every time you confront fear without retreating, you strengthen your inner resolve. The memory of having faced fear successfully becomes a source of courage for future challenges. God wants you to build this resilience step by step because life will continuously present moments that test your courage. By consistently choosing action over retreat, you cultivate a mindset that sees fear not as a stop sign, but as a marker of growth and progress. Finally, remember that fear will never disappear completely, and it does not need to. The goal is not to live without fear, but to live fully despite it. God's guidance is constant, and your inner strength grows with each decision to face what scares you. Embrace fear as a companion on your journey, not an obstacle. Move forward with deliberate courage, knowing that every step taken in the presence of fear brings you closer to the new life and the true path that awaits you. Chapter 6. Building Resilience Through Challenges. A new path will never be free from obstacles. Challenges are not signs that you are failing. They are proof that you are moving forward. Life's trials test your commitment, patience, and perseverance. They stretch you beyond your comfort zone and push you toward growth. Every challenge you encounter is a mirror reflecting your inner strength. Some days will feel unbearable and some nights will feel endless, but it is in these moments that resilience is forged. Understand that the very difficulties you dread are the tools God uses to shape your character and awaken your courage. Challenges often arrive disguised as setbacks. A failed opportunity, a harsh word from someone you trust, a project that collapses despite your effort. These moments feel painful, unfair, and isolating. Yet they carry hidden lessons. Each setback teaches you about timing, patience, and adaptability. They remind you that life is rarely a straight road, and that the detours often lead to discoveries far greater than the original plan. Trust that God is not punishing you but preparing you, even in moments of discomfort, for something bigger and more aligned with your purpose. Resilience begins with perspective. When you face difficulties, pause and ask yourself, what can I learn from this? It is tempting to view hardship as a dead end, but when seen through the lens of growth, each challenge becomes a stepping stone. The most resilient people do not avoid struggle, they embrace it as a teacher. Life's storms are temporary, yet the lessons they impart last a lifetime. God knows the strength you need and places challenges before you not to break you, but to help you discover the strength you did not realize you possessed. Building resilience also requires patience. The path may feel long and exhausting, and it is natural to want quick solutions or instant relief. But true resilience is nurtured over time, through repeated effort and consistent persistence. Just as a tree grows stronger when it bends against the wind, your spirit becomes unshakable when it withstands trials. God measures growth not by speed but by steadfastness. Each day you persevere, even in small ways, is a victory, a silent proof that you are capable of enduring far more than you believed. Support is not a sign of weakness, it is a tool for resilience. Seek those who encourage, uplift, and believe in you. Surround yourself with people who remind you of your potential when doubt threatens to consume you. But also remember that resilience ultimately begins within. Your ability to rise after every fall depends on your internal fortitude, your willingness to keep moving forward, and your commitment to honoring the life you are building. God walks with you in these moments, lending quiet strength when your own feels insufficient. Resilience grows in moments of discomfort. When life challenges you, resist the urge to avoid the pain or seek shortcuts. Lean into the lessons that difficulty offers. Reflect on what each struggle is teaching you about patience, discipline, and clarity of purpose. Often, what seems unbearable in the moment becomes the very foundation upon which your strength is built. God's guidance is subtle during these times, showing up in quiet insights, sudden courage, or the realization that you are far stronger than you imagined. Every challenge also invites creativity and resourcefulness. When obstacles block your way, you are compelled to think differently, innovate, and find solutions you would never have considered otherwise. This is the beauty of resilience. It transforms resistance into opportunity. God's plan for you is never static, and the difficulties you face are often catalysts for unexpected breakthroughs. The ability to adapt, pivot, and continue moving forward under pressure is what distinguishes those who thrive from those who merely survive. Failure is not the enemy, it is a teacher. Each failure carries a lesson that success alone cannot provide. Reflect on your mistakes without judgment, learn from them, and use them as fuel for growth. The most resilient people are those who view failure as a temporary state, a necessary step toward mastery and fulfillment. God allows setbacks not to punish you, but to guide you toward wisdom, understanding, and a deeper connection with your true path. Every stumble is an invitation to rise higher, stronger, and wiser. Resilience is strengthened by self-compassion. Understand that struggle does not define your worth. Treat yourself with kindness during moments of doubt and pain. Celebrate the small victories, the steps forward, and the courage it took to face yet another challenge. God sees your effort even when the world does not. Every tear shed, every sleepless night endured, and every anxious thought overcome contributes to the fortification of your spirit. By honoring your journey, you cultivate resilience that lasts a lifetime. Finally, resilience is a daily practice. It is not built overnight, nor is it dependent on circumstances. Each choice to persevere, to act with courage, and to embrace discomfort contributes to the strong foundation of your new path. Challenges will continue to come, but now you face them with confidence, knowing that God has equipped you with the strength to overcome. Life may test you repeatedly, but your resilience ensures that you rise every time, stronger, wiser, and more aligned with the path you were always meant to walk. Chapter 7: The Power of Intention. To walk a new path, you must first understand the force that shapes reality more than luck or circumstance. Intention. Intention is the conscious decision to align your thoughts, words, and actions with the life you truly desire. It is not a fleeting wish or a vague hope. It is a deliberate, unwavering choice to act in accordance with your deepest values and highest vision. When intention becomes the compass of your life, every action carries meaning, every decision propels you forward, and even challenges become opportunities for growth rather than obstacles. God has placed within you the ability to act intentionally, and it is through this clarity that transformation begins. Living without intention is like wandering through a dense forest without a map. You move, you exert energy, and yet you find yourself circling the same patterns, repeating the same mistakes, and feeling the same frustrations. Life feels heavy because your energy is scattered, misaligned, and reacting to circumstances rather than guiding them. God does not wish for you to drift aimlessly. The power of intention is a gift, allowing you to consciously direct your energy toward building the reality that reflects your true self. Every small, deliberate act accumulates, creating a momentum that the universe, or God, can work with to manifest your vision. Intention requires clarity. You must first know what you truly want, not what others expect, not what society glorifies, but what resonates deeply within your soul. Ask yourself, if I had no limitations, no fear, no doubt, what life would I choose for myself? This is not a superficial exercise. It is a profound conversation with your inner self and with God. Your answers may challenge what you have accepted as normal, they may surprise you, and they may even scare you, but they will also reveal the blueprint of your authentic life. Intention begins with this level of honesty, with the courage to acknowledge your true desires and the willingness to honor them. Once your intention is clear, it must be reinforced daily. The human mind is malleable, and habits form easily for better or worse. When you allow distraction, doubt, or indecision to dominate your days, your intentions weaken. But when you consistently remind yourself of your purpose, through journaling, affirmations, visualization, or focused reflection, you cultivate a mental and emotional environment where your intentions can flourish. God's guidance works best when your mind is clear, your heart is committed, and your focus is unwavering. Each moment of conscious attention strengthens your connection to the path you are choosing. Action is the bridge between intention and reality. Thinking about what you want, visualizing it, or even praying for it is not enough. Intentions must be transformed into deliberate actions, however small, every single day. Each step forward is a signal to God, to the universe, and to your own mind that you are serious about your transformation. Even when the steps are tiny, even when the results are not immediately visible, these actions create ripples that build into profound change. God knows your effort, and with each intentional act, the invisible support becomes stronger, guiding you in ways you may not yet see. Intentions also shape your choices in moments of uncertainty. Life is full of decisions, many of which appear trivial but cumulatively define the trajectory of your life. When faced with a choice, the question you ask yourself should always be, does this align with my intention? Does this move me closer to the path I am creating, or does it distract me from it? This single filter can prevent wasted energy, help you avoid pitfalls, and empower you to act with confidence. God sees the clarity of your heart, and when your choices align with intention, the guidance you receive becomes unmistakable and undeniable. The power of intention extends beyond external outcomes. It transforms your inner world. When you act intentionally, your mind grows sharper, your emotions become steadier, and your spirit feels aligned. Anxiety fades because you are no longer reacting to circumstances but proactively shaping your life. Frustration diminishes because you recognize the process as part of a larger plan. Gratitude expands because each intentional act reflects your commitment to living authentically. God is present not only in the results but in your alignment, in your conscious effort, and in the integrity with which you pursue your path. Intention requires patience. Results rarely manifest overnight, and the journey often demands persistence and resilience. The seeds you plant today may take months or even years to bear visible fruit. Yet, God honors consistent intention. Every choice aligned with your higher purpose adds to the foundation of your life, even when no one else sees it. Trusting in the timing of your path is as important as the intention itself. It is in this patient, deliberate cultivation that your new reality begins to take shape, and the life you envision slowly transforms from possibility into certainty. Intentions are also contagious. When you live deliberately, others feel it. You inspire, influence, and create environments where clarity and purpose become contagious. Whether through leadership, mentorship, or simple human interaction, your intentional life shapes not only your destiny but the world around you. God works through these ripples, amplifying the effects of your commitment beyond what you could ever achieve alone. By living with intention, you become a beacon of possibility, showing that transformation is not only possible, it is inevitable when aligned with purpose. Finally, intention is the promise of alignment with your highest path. It is the declaration that you will not settle for a life that is less than you deserve, a life that does not honor the potential God has placed within you. Each morning, recommit to your intentions. Each night, reflect on how your actions honored them. Through clarity, daily reinforcement, deliberate action, conscious choice, patience, and faith, your intentions become the blueprint for a new path, one that is not just better but authentically yours. God knows your heart, and when you act with intention, you walk in harmony with the path that has been waiting for you all along. Chapter 8. Embracing Change as a Gift. Change is one of the most misunderstood forces in life. Most people fear it, resist it, or wish it would pass quietly, yet change is never an enemy, it is a messenger. It arrives at the exact moment you are ready to grow, whether you recognize it or not. It shakes your routines, challenges your comfort, and pushes you to see life from a broader perspective. God orchestrates change with precision, even when it feels sudden or disruptive, because every shift carries the potential for a new beginning. Accepting change is not merely surviving it, it is seeing it as an invitation to step closer to your true self. Often we cling to familiarity because it feels safe. We prefer the known struggles over the unknown possibilities. Yet safety without growth leads to stagnation. God knows the life you were meant to live, the dreams that stir quietly in your heart, and the passions that have been waiting for a chance to bloom. Change is the bridge between who you are now and who you are becoming. The moment you accept it, the moment you stop resisting, you open yourself to opportunities that would have otherwise passed by unnoticed. Change challenges our perception of control. It strips away certainty and forces us to rely on faith, intuition, and courage. When your plans are disrupted, when doors close or paths shift unexpectedly, it is not chaos, it is recalibration. God uses change to align your life with your true purpose. What may feel like a setback or a loss is often a redirection toward something far greater than you imagined. Recognizing this allows you to shift your perspective from fear to curiosity, from anxiety to anticipation. The beauty of change lies in its ability to teach resilience. When life moves unpredictably, when circumstances force you to adapt, you discover strengths within yourself you never knew existed. Every challenge brought by change is an opportunity to grow stronger, wiser, and more grounded. God equips you with exactly what you need to handle these shifts, even before you realize it. Embracing change then becomes not just a survival tactic but a conscious practice of self-empowerment, revealing the inner resources that have been quietly waiting for activation. Change also brings clarity. When routines, relationships, or environments shift, what was hidden often becomes visible. You begin to see which connections support you, which habits hinder you, and which directions resonate with your true calling. God uses these moments to strip away illusions and reveal reality in its purest form. This clarity is a gift because it gives you the freedom to make conscious choices. You are no longer blindly moving through life. Instead, you can intentionally choose the steps that align with your vision and values. Resistance to change often comes from fear of loss, the fear of losing stability, identity, or comfort. Yet, what is left behind is rarely gone forever, it is transformed. Relationships evolve, careers take new shapes, and old dreams are refined into more aligned visions. God guides these transformations with precision, ensuring that what is meant to remain remains and what is meant to depart gently falls away. Accepting this allows you to release attachment and step into a flow that is infinitely more rewarding than clinging to the past. One of the greatest gifts of change is the opportunity for reinvention. You are allowed, even encouraged, to redefine yourself at any stage of life. Change frees you from the weight of outdated expectations, those imposed by others, society, or even yourself. God's timing is perfect. Every new challenge or twist in your path is designed to awaken a version of yourself that has been dormant, waiting for the right conditions to emerge. Embracing this truth empowers you to approach life creatively, courageously, and with a renewed sense of purpose. Change often teaches patience. Growth does not happen overnight, and transformation is rarely immediate. The discomfort you feel during periods of transition is the soil in which your new life takes root. God works in subtle ways, shaping your character, teaching lessons, and preparing you for what lies ahead. Learning to trust the process, to accept the pace of change, and to remain committed even when outcomes are not yet visible is a skill that cultivates inner peace and deep confidence. Patience allows you to navigate life with grace, no matter how unpredictable the journey becomes. Embracing change also strengthens gratitude. When life shifts and you are forced to adjust, you begin to notice the beauty in small victories, in lessons learned, and in opportunities discovered through adversity. God's guidance often comes wrapped in unexpected circumstances, showing you that even disruption can carry blessings. Gratitude in the face of change transforms challenges into experiences of growth, teaching you to see each moment, however uncomfortable, as a step toward a more meaningful and fulfilling life. Ultimately, embracing change is an act of trust and alignment with God's vision for your life. It requires courage to let go, faith to move forward, and wisdom to see the deeper purpose behind each shift. Change is a gift, a necessary companion on the journey to authenticity, fulfillment, and personal mastery. When you welcome it rather than fear it, you discover that life is not a series of random disruptions but a carefully guided path, each change leading you closer to your true self, your purpose, and a life filled with clarity, courage, and joy. Chapter 9: Creating Your New Path. Creating your new path begins with a vision, a clear, vivid picture of the life you desire. Take time to imagine it fully without restrictions or doubts. What does your day look like? How do you feel when you wake up in the morning? Who are the people surrounding you, and what energy fills your life? Allow yourself to see this vision in as much detail as possible. God has placed the seeds of possibility in your heart, and this vision is the blueprint that will guide your steps forward. The act of imagining is not daydreaming. It is the first step in creating reality from intention. Once you have a vision, it is essential to break it down into achievable steps. A path does not appear fully formed, it is built gradually, one decision at a time. Start by identifying the immediate actions you can take to align your life with your vision. These may seem small or insignificant at first, but even the smallest step carries weight when it is consistent and intentional. Each step forward is proof that you are committed to your transformation, and God honors your efforts by creating opportunities along the way. Creating your new path also requires shedding self-doubt. Many people hesitate because they fear failure or worry that they are not ready. These thoughts are natural, but they are not truths. Fear is simply a signal that you are on the edge of growth. When fear arises, acknowledge it, but do not allow it to dictate your actions. God has placed within you the resilience, intelligence, and strength to navigate uncertainty. Trust that every challenge you face is a chance to prove your commitment to your vision and deepen your confidence in your own abilities. Discipline and consistency are the engines that move your new path forward. Vision without action remains a dream. Commit to daily practices that support your growth, whether through learning new skills, connecting with mentors, or refining your mindset. Each day of deliberate effort compounds over time, creating momentum that becomes unstoppable. God's guidance often reveals itself in small, consistent actions rather than sudden, dramatic leaps. The discipline of steady progress builds a foundation so strong that challenges become opportunities instead of obstacles. Your environment plays a crucial role in shaping the path you walk. Surround yourself with people, spaces, and experiences that reflect your desired life. Let go of influences that drain your energy, cloud your judgment, or reinforce limiting beliefs. Curate your surroundings intentionally. Fill your life with inspiration, support, and reminders of your goals. God often works through the people and circumstances around you, opening doors and guiding connections that align with your vision. Paying attention to your environment is a way of honoring this guidance. Embrace flexibility along your path. Even the most carefully planned steps may require adjustments. Life is fluid and unexpected shifts are inevitable. Instead of resisting change, treat it as a signpost, guiding you toward a more refined direction. When plans shift, do not abandon your vision. Instead, adapt your methods. God's plan is not rigid. It is dynamic and responsive to your growth. Flexibility ensures that you move forward even when circumstances are unpredictable, keeping your path alive and evolving. Reflection is a powerful tool in creating your new path. Take time regularly to evaluate your progress, celebrate victories, and reassess strategies that are not serving you. Reflection prevents stagnation and keeps your actions aligned with your evolving vision. Ask yourself what lessons you have learned from recent experiences and how they can inform your next steps. God often communicates through reflection, offering clarity and insight when you pause and listen deeply. Cultivating gratitude is essential as you build your new path. Appreciate the progress you have made, the lessons learned, and the opportunities yet to come. Gratitude shifts your focus from scarcity to abundance, attracting more of what you desire. When you acknowledge God's presence in both your successes and challenges, you create a mindset that is receptive to guidance, abundance, and inspiration. Gratitude turns the act of creating your path into a joyful process rather than a burdensome task. Commitment to your path requires courage, especially when faced with doubt from others or even from within. You may encounter criticism, skepticism, or resistance, but these are not indicators to stop. God's guidance is clearer when you move with determination despite external noise. Let your actions speak louder than opinions. Each time you choose your vision over fear or doubt, you strengthen your resolve and expand the possibilities for your life. Courage is not the absence of fear. It is the decision to move forward even when fear is present. Finally, remember that creating your new path is both an internal and external journey. It is about aligning your mind, heart, and actions with the life God is calling you to live. Each step, each choice, and each moment of intentional effort shapes the reality of your path. As you build it deliberately, with faith in your own power and trust in God's guidance, you will find that your path begins to unfold naturally. It may not always be easy, but it will be meaningful, fulfilling, and uniquely yours. The new path is not just a change in direction. It is a transformation of your entire life. Chapter 10. Living fully on your new path. Walking a new path begins with a commitment to yourself. A promise to honor your growth and to step fully into the life that aligns with your truest self. This is not a path dictated by fear, habit, or the expectations of others. It is a path that calls for courage, self-awareness, and a willingness to embrace the unknown. To live fully on this path, you must first accept that the journey is as important as the destination, and every step, no matter how small, contributes to the life you are creating. God has placed this path before you because it is the one that resonates most deeply with your purpose and potential. The first step in embracing this path is presence. Too often, people rush through life, seeking results without noticing the lessons, beauty, and opportunities along the way. To walk fully on a new path, you must slow down, breathe, and observe. Notice how each decision feels in your body, how every encounter influences your growth, and how the choices you make today shape your tomorrow. Living in alignment with this path requires attentiveness and mindfulness. God's guidance becomes clearer when your mind is calm and your heart is open to receiving subtle signals that indicate the right direction. Courage is not the absence of fear. It is the willingness to move forward despite fear. As you step into this new path, Fear may rise in various forms: doubt about your abilities, anxiety about uncertainty, or concern about leaving comfort behind. Understand that these fears are normal, but they are not your truth. God knows your strength even when you do not. Each time you choose to move forward, despite fear, you reinforce your resilience and build the confidence necessary to sustain the journey. Living fully on this path requires embracing discomfort as a sign of growth, rather than as a reason to retreat. Intentionality is the cornerstone of this new path. Every action, thought, and choice must be deliberate. The world is filled with distractions, and it is easy to drift back into old habits that no longer serve you. But each intentional step brings you closer to the life you envision. Write down your goals, review them often, and make decisions that are consistent with them. God has entrusted you with the power to shape your destiny, and living intentionally honors that trust. Your daily practices, no matter how small, create momentum and reinforce the structure of your new path. Living fully also requires a deep connection to your inner self. Take time for reflection, journaling, and silence. The answers you seek are often not found in the external world but within the quiet spaces of your mind and heart. In those moments of stillness, you can hear the whispers of guidance, see the clarity of your purpose, and reconnect with the energy that fuels your journey. God is present in these moments, guiding you gently and consistently. The more you cultivate this inner connection, the more confident and aligned your steps will become. Gratitude is a powerful companion on this path. Appreciate the progress you have made even when it feels small or insufficient. Celebrate the victories and acknowledge the lessons from setbacks. Gratitude creates a sense of abundance, reinforcing that every challenge and every success is a meaningful part of your journey. When you live with gratitude, your path becomes lighter and more inviting. God sees your efforts, and every step taken with appreciation strengthens your resilience and capacity to embrace what lies ahead. Authenticity is essential. Do not walk this path trying to fit into molds that others have set for you or patterns that no longer serve your growth. Be honest about your desires, strengths, and limitations. Living fully requires shedding pretenses and showing up as your genuine self, even when it feels vulnerable. Authenticity attracts the right opportunities, relationships, and experiences, allowing your life to unfold naturally in alignment with your purpose. God celebrates your authenticity, as it is the truest reflection of the life you are meant to live. Patience is another vital quality. Transformation takes time, and a new path rarely unfolds instantly or smoothly. Allow yourself to grow at your own pace. Understand that setbacks are part of the process and not indicators of failure. Each day, each experience, and each challenge adds depth, wisdom, and clarity to your journey. God understands the timing of your growth and provides the lessons, opportunities, and guidance you need when you are ready to receive them. Trusting the pace of your journey is key to living fully. Connection with supportive people enriches your journey. Surround yourself with those who inspire, encourage, and challenge you to grow, while being mindful of those who drain your energy or limit your vision. Relationships are an integral part of your path, and choosing companions wisely can provide guidance, insight, and encouragement when you need it most. God places people along your path for a reason, and recognizing these connections allows you to navigate your journey with both strength and grace.